Hey guys, I'm back with another countdown video for you all suggested by Stick Gamers, and he wanted to see the top 10 most anticipated abilities you would have after receiving membership for the very first time from a free-to-play player's perspective. A lot of people voted to see this, so I definitely wanted to do this one because it seemed like a lot of fun. I think it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it, this countdown might contain some opinions and blah 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 blah, and let's get it started. Number 10. Probably one of the most anticipated things I couldn't wait to try out after I got membership for the first time was the Lumbridge agility shortcut that would get you to Varrock faster. I was obsessed with having to know what this agility shortcut thing was all about. Although whenever I did become a member and realized that my agility level was 1 and it needed to be higher to negotiate the shortcut, I was quite mad and confused because I had no idea how to train agility back then. Number 9, probably even greater than my desire to use the Lumbridge shortcut, was the desire that I had to access the desert. Mainly because even though crossing the Shanty Pass is a member's feature, you could still actually, back in the day, use the option look at the Shanty Pass, and whenever you did that, back then a notification would pop up saying that the desert is a very dangerous place, do not enter if you're afraid of dying, etc, etc. The description continues on to explain just how dangerous the desert is, and of course I thought that being level 20 combat at the time and having full steel armor was enough to take on the world back then. Number 8. I really liked mining back in the day, and there were these two specific places that I really liked mining in, which was the mine southeast of Varrock and the Alcarid mine, so you can imagine just how much I would regularly travel from Alcarid to Varrock, and vice versa. And one thing I always noticed was the gate that leads to the dig site. I was never actually able to go through it as a non-member, obviously, but whenever I did get membership finally, I actually forgot all about that gate because of all the other options I had that stuck out to me more after becoming a member for the first time. But whenever I did finally realize that I could go through that gate, I was impressed. The dig site and the exam center area is a lot different than any other area on the map in RuneScape, or so I thought then, at least. Number 7, so I think I actually probably explored this place first before the dig site. I'm talking about the gate that lies in the most eastern edge of Varrock, and if you follow the path it will take you to Canifis. Priest Imperil was actually probably one of the first quests I ever did in RuneScape, if I remember correctly, once I first got membership, because I really think I actually explored this gate before anything else, really. Even before the Taverley Gate. I didn't really study the world map too much as a kid, honestly, so whenever I did finally get to Canifis, I was a little depressed actually, because it looks so depressing. Number 6. The Lumbridge Forest trapdoor where the ham members are. I had no idea what ham members were, that they even existed back then, and I never associated those bright purple robes with them whenever I'd see the members running around in free worlds with ham on, trying to show off their robes. I had absolutely no idea what to expect whenever I was a member and finally got my thieving level up enough to pick the lock. I still remember what it says even whenever you fail at picking the lock on that trapdoor. It says your fingers start getting numb. I don't know why I've always remembered that, but I have. Whenever I did finally get down there, I was like, oh my god, the Bright Purple Robes people is an organization. It was exciting, and I couldn't wait to figure out how to join them. Number 5. I really wanted to start exploring the membership sides of Edgeville Dungeon as soon as I became a member. I remember really wanting to go through that pipe too, to go from the Moss Giants over to Vanica and vice versa, but then I found out my agility level needed to be 70 before I could do that. Since that was out, I went to explore the infamous Ezreal Dungeon Gate. In Free Worlds, the gate doesn't have any Chaos Druids or anything behind it, so I certainly never imagined that beyond the gate would be the wilderness. In fact, actually I remember whenever I walked up to the gate for the first time on a member server, it was already opened. I had a short little moment of like, oh my god, it's really about to happen in my mind whenever I saw that gate was open, and in fact I didn't even know I was entering the wilderness because I was so excited. The higher level monsters definitely humbled me though, as soon as I stumbled onto them as I went deeper into the dungeon. Number 4. Speaking of the wilderness, I'm sure one of the main things all of you wanted to do along with myself when you first got membership was explore the deeper parts of the wilderness after crossing through the infamous gate that blocks you from going any further once you hit the greater demons. I always wanted to go past that gate just to see what creatures existed beyond that point, and I was actually very disappointed though. As soon as I got past the gate, the Chaos Elemental completely wrecked me. Number 3. So this one's a little higher on the list just because it really was one thing that I just couldn't get out of my mind while I was a free player. I'm talking about the gate next to the Makeover Mage. I always wanted to be able to open that gate and see the lands that existed beyond it. Mainly after I started getting bored just sitting around at the Taverley Gate trying to see what was behind it, I would come here and try to angle the camera to do the same thing to try and see what lands were behind it also. Number 2. I was so ignorant and stupid for wanting this for such a long time. In fact, this is what I wanted the most before I got membership for the first time. I cannot explain to you how bad I wanted to gain access to the Tyrus camp and the rest of the Elven lands, but mainly the Tyrus camp, just to be able to say that I have crossed the entire continent of RuneScape. I literally didn't ask anybody anything, I just started my journey towards getting there when I was a noob. I got to Castle Wars and realized I was going completely the wrong way, so I started to ask around, and apparently I needed to have completed so many other quests to be able to even get over to those lands. I was literally heartbroken. Even to this day, honestly, I still have never been to the Elven lands in RuneScape ever. Number 1. So I had to put this at number 1, just because it really deserves to be number 1. The Taverley Gate. I walked up and down those walls to try and figure out what actually existed behind this great big wall, and the gate that I wasn't allowed to go past. I wanted to know the secrets. I always looked at the world map, but couldn't really make out what anything really was on there since I was so young at the time, so that just made me want to know even more. The Taverley Gate, I feel like, is one of the first things everybody goes through when they get membership for the first time, and I really wish I could go back and see the look on my 11-year-old face whenever I finally got access through it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Real quick, I have to thank Bogmeyer777, Rodney Farva, and Brian Duffy for donating. You guys have really helped me out a lot with your donations, so thank you so much, guys. All 3 of you guys are awesome human beings. That's all I've got for you guys today, and I will talk to you all later.